Once, there was an empire, vast, proud, eternal. Its rulers believed they could bend history itself. Today, that empire stands before its own shadow, tired, bleeding, and afraid. This is the story of Russia, a nation not destroyed by its enemies, but by the illusions it built around itself. Russia's greatest enemy today isn't NATO or even Ukraine. It's its own demography. For 3 decades, births have declined, deaths have soared, and now the war is consuming the few young men who remain. Nearly 1 million soldiers are dead or wounded, and almost 1 million more have fled the country. An entire generation gone. Factories without workers, villages without farmers, universities without students. The state calls them patriots, the economy calls them missing, and history will call them the lost sons of a dying empire. When the invasion began, Russian soldiers were told to bring parade uniforms, not body armor. They were told Kyiv would fall in 3 days. 3 years later, the Kremlin is still fighting for a few dozen miles of mud. Convoys ran out of fuel, elite paratroopers died at Hostomel, tanks filled with sand instead of armor. This wasn't just a military defeat, it was a spiritual one. For years, Russia lived inside its own fiction. Reports were forged, exercises were staged, generals lied to presidents, and presidents lied to the world. The lies became doctrine, and doctrine became disaster. The ruble, once a symbol of power, has become a whisper of its former self. By the end of 2024, it lost 23% of its value against the dollar. 40% of the national budget now goes to war. Hospitals crumble, schools close. Half of the defense spending is buried under classified projects. A war economy built on fear and secrecy. When a country sells its future to buy bullets, victory becomes meaningless. History repeats itself. Empires rarely collapse from invasion, they rot from within. Across Russia's far-flung regions, cracks are forming. Governors in Siberia defy Moscow, demanding control over their oil and gas. In Dagestan, mothers protest, "Bring our sons home." And in the marble halls of the Kremlin, the whispers grow louder. Who replaces the man who made himself irreplaceable? Putin's system is a pyramid built on fear, and when fear begins to fade, the whole structure trembles. Before this war, NATO was divided and aimless. Today, it is reborn. Finland and Sweden have joined. Poland is building Europe's largest standing army. Germany has rearmed. And China, Russia's so-called ally, buys its oil at half price. Because friendship with the weak is always a transaction. Russia wanted to break the West. Instead, it forged it back together. There are no more truths left to tell. Journalists vanish, critics rot in prison. The war dead are buried under new layers of propaganda. The state now fears its own people more than any foreign army. The war that began in the name of security has left Russia more vulnerable than ever. It hasn't conquered Ukraine, it has lost itself. Every empire believes it will last forever. Rome did, the Ottomans did, and now Russia believes the same. But no empire defies time. Every one of them falls, not from defeat, but from denial. When a nation kills truth to protect pride, its end begins in silence. And someday, history will ask one simple question. Why didn't you stop when you still could? Russia did not lose the war in Ukraine. It lost the war against itself. The fall of the last empire.